Welcome to BoreFix. I'm that guy David.
And I'm that girl Emily.
And this week we've got quite a few different things to actually talk about. The main one is the new Pokemon information, which is the Mega Pokemon. And that's actually kind of kicked up a storm. Now I was going to talk about this as it got closer to the Pokemon X and Y launch, but the whole Mega thing kind of is taking me by storms and everyone else, so why not? So, first of all, what is your opinion on the whole Mega Pokemon?
I don't really like it.
You don't like it? Okay, well, why don't you like it?
I don't know why they don't just make them evolve again. I don't really see what difference it's going to make.
Well, you see, I can understand why they've done it, and I'm calling Pokemon out on this because this is a franchise ripoff from Digimon.
I love that.
Because Digimon came out roughly around the same time as Pokemon, but Digimon had the rookie Pokemon, they had the champions, they had the ultimates, and they had the megas, right? Mm-hmm. The advantage to Digimon was you weren't limited to an individual evolution. Essentially, the Digimon could transform into really anything within their type.
Yeah.
So you had vaccines, you had viruses, you had data, so long as they fell in that type, they could essentially become anything. Mm-hmm. So I understand why they've done it, because it means that, let's say Mewtwo, new transformation, is a speed type. So he shrinks in size and actually increases in speed, right?
Yeah.
Now, what most people forget is that Mewtwo is actually based off of Frieza from Dragon Ball Z, right? And what was Frieza most famous for was his multiple transformations, right? So, we could expect to see not just a speed type, we could see a strength type, we could see one that's designed completely different, so it has more of it's more attack based. So, you know, buffed up Mewtwo, kind of like with Mewtwo's head of Machop's body would actually be quite funny. But I can see why they've done it. It's a complete rip-off of Digimon.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. And Mewtwo's evolved form just looks lame, to be honest.
Well, I think they might have done it so it looks a little bit more like Mew.
No, when they first showed the picture and everyone's saying, "Oh, this could be an evolved form of Mewtwo," I was like, "Please God, don't let it be." Really.
Well, the thing is, though, Mewtwo is a genetic Pokemon, because Mewtwo isn't actually meant to be there in the actual Pokemon lore, because Mewtwo is a clone of Mew, but he was altered to be stronger than Mew.
Yeah.
Right? So, Mewtwo, in the sense, can't actually evolve. But in the other sense, Mew's, the actual law of Mew is that he contains all the DNA of the Pokemon in the world. Right? And that's how all the Pokemon kind of came to be. Mew kind of became those Pokemon, and then as the Pokemon kind of like went through evolutionary stages, then we got new Pokemon. So Mew is kind of like the default, which is also might explain why Mewtwo is so powerful, because he has technically all that DNA in him.
Yeah.
Right. Other than that, I do quite like the actual things that are going on around. That's not actually me.
Sorry.
I do actually like the idea, because it does open up a whole new, like the next stage of like type of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Let's be fair, we're going on the 6th generation now, so it does kind of open up a different outlook on Pokemon. So I like it, and it could open up to where we get more Mega forms of Pokemon down the line, which I really hope that they carry on with it. But I would like to see alternate versions of the Pokemon. You know, I actually want to see like an alternate Blaziken Mega form. I want to see an alternate Lucario Mega form, because it would change how Pokemon plays. Where it's like, oh, this person has Lucario in his team. Like, is it going to be basic Lucario, or is it going to be one of its different Mega forms?
Yeah.
Right. So it could change your entire battle strategy on how you actually play the game.
Make things interesting.
Exactly. So overall, I think it's going to be quite an interesting feature, and I thought it might be worth just talking about anyway before we even start in the program. Anyway, so we're going to do Nerdy Time now, and this one is actually brought to us by Shane Lane, a guy on Facebook that actually posted a comment up for us. and it is Elder Scrolls Online versus World of Warcraft.
Well, clearly I'm going to say World of Warcraft. Sat you in a hot t-shirt?
Yeah. Okay, so what would be your opinions on it? Why on earth would World of Warcraft still be so strong once Elder Scrolls Online comes out?
Well, you can't expect me to compare it against a game that isn't even out yet.
Alright. Well, have you played Oblivion or Skyrim?
My brother plays Skyrim, but it's not my sort of thing.
Right, okay. Well, from what I have found out, obviously I have no experience in actually playing the online because Elder Scrolls Online because it hasn't come out yet. However, from what I've seen, it plays very similar to the actual console games. Right?
Yeah.
So it's in first-person view. You can change it to a third-person view, which, Skyrim, Oblivion never really played well as a third-person view. It was always first-person, right? However, I kind of think it's going to be exactly like the Skyrim, but with more people playing.
Yeah.
Right? I understand how they've done it because they based it before any of the actual Elder Scrolls games, right? So it's kind of like the default of it. So we are getting back dragons because obviously dragons went extinct so many years after Alduin got transported through time. So it's set way back before the dragons went extinct. So we're still going to be battling dragons. We're still going to have some of the classic monsters that we're going to be fighting. But it'll just be interesting to see how it actually plays out.
Yeah.
You see, I'm like you. I do enjoy World of Warcraft because I've played Warcraft from the very first Warcraft to then Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3, the expansion of Warcraft 3, and then obviously then vanilla for World of Warcraft, right? So, what are your opinions? Is it better to go have a storyline base to then go into an MMO, or have a game base and then kind of go backwards into an MMO?
I don't know. I think if you have the storyline there first, then more people are probably going to want to play it. Rather than if they just say, "Oh right, here's a game, there you go."
Yeah, I'll admit. I think that's kind of why a lot of MMOs do fail, is because they're just bringing out a product. They're just bringing out a game.
Yeah, you need to get your fan base there.
Exactly.
Already.
The thing is, fair enough. MMOs don't really need much advertising because they're targeted at a certain audience already. So unless you're part of that type of world, you're not going to really know about it. World of Warcraft kind of sells itself. Everyone knows about World of Warcraft, even if you don't play World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
However, World of Warcraft does have a bit of a stigma with it, with people being like completely lazy, nerdy, like, I'm gonna kill Magdaron's lair! Yeah! Back when Magdaron's lair was so hard, and now I can just solo it with my Warlock. That's embarrassing. But no, so World of Warcraft does have this thing about it, but the Elder Scrolls has got a lot going for it as well, because it has got that fan base already.
Can't say until I play it though.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's one of those games where we are gonna have to try and wait and see how it plays out. Hopefully, cross fingers, touch wood, and everything else in between, it doesn't become a DC Online, DC Universe Online, because don't get me wrong, it was a brilliant game, but it could have done better. It was like, you fly up to the top of the city, it's like, wow, that's a city, can I stop playing now? But I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I want to see more information on it, which there is quite a bit out at the moment, but really I just want to play the game.
Yeah.
Right? And I do like the idea how they are making it on Xbox, on PlayStation, and on PC. So it does broaden the actual audience for it. But let's be fair, most MMOs work well on the PC.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Cool. Have you got anything else to add to that?
Not really.
Not really, okay.
In part 1. I steal your tacos. I steal your tacos. Would you like to give me some tacos? I think so. Give me a kiss.